So like I said with the previous episode, I do understand that there were a lot of limitations placed on the filming of this episode because it happened during COVID restrictions. So I understand. And so I don't want to judge it too harshly. But unlike last episode where you could tell that there were some limitations, but it was a standard format, this one was not a standard Walking Dead episode. They were doing different things and it was a lot more artistic than a typical Walking Dead episode. But I have to be honest and just say that it didn't work for me. The flashbacks were confusing. I thought the story that they were trying to tell me was confusing. I couldn't really follow what was happening. God, I hate to be so negative because I love this show and I love these characters and I have loved this season. But I just didn't like the artistic choices that were made. I think that, and I question why they were made. I think that if they told this story straight, so Daryl finds the cabin, he goes into a flashback, right? And then the rest of the episode plays out from that perspective from the past. I think that would have been better than jumping, it was like 5 months or 5 years ago. And then it was like 6 months later from the 5 years. And then it was like, and it's just kind of like, what? And I hate criticizing. I really, really do. But I felt like some of the dialogue was weird and awkward and clunky. And even some of the performances, like some of the line deliveries, I hate saying this, but especially Melissa McBride, who I think is the best actor on the show, I thought her performance was kind of shaky in a few scenes. And I was just like, was it just clunky dialogue or was she just not feeling this episode? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Some of it was just awkward. Anyway, but this first scene was really, really cute. When she decides to go with him hunting, that was really, really cute. And I love it when they have these light, fun moments together. I miss season 9 Carol. That's my favorite version of Carol, when she was with Ezekiel. They were just so great together and they were just so fun, and Carol was so much lighter, and I just thought like that was the perfect version of Carol, and I miss her. I don't think we're ever gonna get her back. But I thought it was a really cute scene. They've got tremendous chemistry always. They always have. Okay, and then she's spearfishing. And it was interesting because I'm pretty sure, I didn't rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure that the dialogue that he had with, was her name Leah, I think? When they were fishing, it was like the same dialogue that Daryl and Carol have here. She gets it the first try and he's like, beginner's luck or whatever. Like, it was the same thing, but I don't know what they're trying to say with that. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. I don't know. I noticed a lot of parallels in this episode between Daryl and Carol and Daryl and Leah, but what are they trying to say with that? Am I just dense? Because I don't know. I don't know what the point of it is. I don't know that we needed this time with Daryl in the past searching for Rick, because we knew all of this stuff. There was no information that we didn't already know. No revelations. This is who Daryl is. Of course he's going to search for Rick. Of course he feels responsible. He always does, even when it's not his fault. And we knew that he was out there for years looking for Rick. None of this is new, and it's not interesting enough to sustain an entire episode, unfortunately. I didn't need to see it. I really did like that scene with the storm, and I love, that kind of primal scream of his, like, he's just, like, fed up. But it didn't change anything. It didn't lead anywhere. It didn't amount to anything. Like, he just continued on. So I don't know what the point of that was narratively, but I did think that was a cool scene. And then, like, there were a couple of times when Dog, like, we see baby Dog, little puppy Dog, like, when Dog ran up to him, I guess we weren't supposed to know that wasn't Daryl's dog. Like, is that the first time that he met Dog? Because it's just weird. Like, okay, so this puppy comes out of nowhere and, like, runs up to you and, like, yeah, you're gonna pick it up and you're gonna be like, oh, puppy. But wouldn't you be like, where did you come from? Or something like that. Like, there were a couple of times when Dog just seemed to be hanging out with him, and this was before we met Leah, and you're just like, you think that this is Dog. Like, this is his dog, and he's had this dog, and then you find out that, like, oh, no, the dog belongs to this other lady. Like, it was just really weird. I don't know. It just, like, I had a hard time following that, and I don't understand why there wasn't, like, a line of dialogue. Like, oh, wow, where did you come from? You know, something like that. And I don't know, man. It's just weird. And then the scene where Leah is she tied him up and held him at gunpoint. Then she just decides to let him go. Well, why? So Angela Kang said in the bonus material that they're the type of people who can just read somebody and know that they're not a threat. But I didn't get any of that in the episode. I thought she was going to say, well, the dog likes you. So, and, like, I thought it was really weird too when Daryl was like, oh, it's just a dog, he doesn't know better or whatever. And I thought, Daryl wouldn't say that. Like, I think Daryl is the kind of person who would trust a dog's instincts. And, like, if a dog likes somebody, then that probably means that they're a good person. You know what I mean? Because I'm like that, you know. I trust people more if my animals like them, or animals in general like them. And if they like animals, like, I trust that person more. Whether that's true and accurate or not, that's how I feel. And I feel like Daryl would be that kind of guy. So I thought it was weird when he's like, it's just a dog. Like, that, I don't know. I just thought a lot of things were weird. Okay. So, but then I thought she was going to say, well, the dog likes you, so I'm going to trust the dog's instincts or whatever. But she's just like, she doesn't say anything other than just go before I change my mind or something. And I was like, all right, that's kind of an anticlimax. Like, there wasn't a conversation. There wasn't really a confrontation. Like, she just tied him up and then changed her mind and cut him loose. Then we have another scene where Daryl is bringing Dog back to Leah, and she's like, thanks for bringing him back. And I guess we're supposed to understand that they're friendly now at this point. I think it said like 6 months later or something. But this is the first time, like, I thought when he goes walking up with Dog, like, oh shit, she's gonna tie him up again. Like, you know what I mean? I just needed more connective tissue there. Like, so I guess they've been friendly for 6 months, but how? How did it go from her tying him up and then letting him go for some reason to them now being friendly with each other. Like, how did we make that leap? And then I felt like Daryl was being kind of flirtatious with her, which is kind of out of character because I've never seen him really like... The only person I've ever seen him kind of flirt with is Connie, but it wasn't like a deliberate flirting. It was kind of innocent, awkward, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now kind of flirting. This seemed like a little bit more like intentional flirting, which just doesn't feel like Daryl. So then we have this scene where Daryl is out in the woods, whatever he was doing. I don't remember what he was doing, but maybe he was fishing or something. But then, like, all of these walkers show up behind him, and he doesn't know until they are literally just, like, right behind him, which is so dumb. And I can't believe the show still does this. They've been doing this for 10 years, and it's just really lame. It's just really dumb. Like, and there were so many walkers. How is it possible that he didn't hear them? But then Leah shows up, and I guess we were supposed to understand that they were surrounded. Even if you're surrounded, you can just run away from walkers. Like, it's really not that hard, right? Like, as long as it's not a shit ton of walkers in a tight space, you can run. But instead they hid in this tree, which I guess was supposed to be like romantic, or there was supposed to be sexual tension there. I did not get any chemistry between these two. I'm sorry to say, I didn't. And it, I don't know. It just felt really forced that they would do that. It's very tropey, and it worked with Carl and Enid because they're teenagers and it's a cute moment. This just didn't work. This didn't work for me. So, I don't know. Most of this episode just didn't work for me. And I can already hear the criticism, like, well, you just didn't like it because you shipped Daryl and Connie. And it truly is not that. It truly isn't. Like, I am open, especially because, as I've said before, I understand that Lauren Ridloff got another job, and so she was written out for that reason, and I'm just grateful that they didn't kill her. And I don't actually have any expectations anymore of the two of them getting together. They might, but it seems like with Leah, with this introduction, you know she's coming back. You absolutely know she's coming back. So they might be, you know, setting up like this is the direction that they're going. And if that's the case, I wish I could feel it. I wish I could be invested. I wish I could care, but I just don't. I just don't care. And that's sad because I love Daryl. So anyway, we have a couple more interactions with them. I don't think I need to go through every single one. But we have a couple more interactions, and then she finds him. She called it frost nip. Ow! I just pulled my earring. Ow. She called it frost nip. Is that like the precursor to frostbite, or is that just what they call it in the South? I don't know. Never heard of frost nip before. But, so she invites him to sleep at her cabin, and then that's when we get her backstory. And I thought the performance from the actress was really well done. Like, I thought she did a really great job this whole time. As a matter of fact, I thought that some of the acting was shaky, but not from her. I thought she was great. But, I didn't care is the thing. It's a lot like I said in the last episode, you know, I don't care about Maggie's people because this is the first time that we've met. And so I, you know, like, I'm sorry that these things happened to her, but at the same time, it's like, we're 10 years into the zombie apocalypse. Well, we are. They aren't at this time, but I mean, we've watched 10 seasons of this show. Everybody has a sad backstory, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, everybody has a tragic backstory. Everybody lost their kid or their sibling or their parents or all of the above. Like, everybody's lost people. So, you know, like, it felt like kind of an info dump for us to get to know her, but it would have been better if I had cared, but I don't, because I just met her. So I don't care. But I do think that, like I said, that the actress did a really, really good job. So then we get some more quick flashbacks of them fishing, and then I'm not sure what they're doing. They're like looking at the sky. Is it like, I'm not really sure what they're doing. And then there is apparently an implied sex scene, which is a very strange choice, because I didn't understand that that's what it was until it was over. I was like, what are we looking at? And okay. I cannot be emotionally invested in Leah because we just met, right? So I cannot be invested in this relationship. I cannot be invested in her as a character. I don't care because we just met. If they wanted to make us care about her, if they wanted us to be invested in this relationship, why keep them at such a distance? The actors had to have been tested for COVID. You know, we know that this happened during COVID restrictions, but they would not be working this closely together if they hadn't, you know, quarantined beforehand, probably. And they were probably heavily tested. Like, maybe they're tested every day. Like, maybe that's part of their routine, is that they're tested every morning. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But they never kissed. They were never physically affectionate. Why not show us an actual love scene? Why is it just implied? And I wonder if it's because they didn't know how fans would react to it, so they didn't want to, like, they wanted to give us some time to digest it. I don't know, but I can't. I think those of us who are shippers, who tend to get invested in relationships, most of us enjoy the slow burn. And the reason we enjoy the slow burn is because we get to fall in love along with the characters. I love Daryl, and if he's going to be with somebody, I want to fall in love with her along with him. That's exactly what was happening with Connie, right? I met Connie and I'm like, who dis, right? And she doesn't mean anything to me, but we get to know her. We find out that she's amazing. Daryl gets to know her. There's some chemistry. Oh, what's going on here? And we start to fall in love with her, right? That's what I need. And maybe that will happen in season 11. Like I said, you know Leah is going to come back. So maybe that will happen in season 11. But why not just introduce her in season 11 then? Why have this whole backstory? Like, I just don't understand the motivation for it. But so we have this implied sex scene, and then the very next scene, they're fighting. And where did that come from? What's going on? Like, what's the relationship like now? Like, it was just so abrupt. And, you know, she gives him this ultimatum, like, do you belong looking for your dead brother? Like, excuse me? That pissed me off. That's another thing. Like, if you want to make this character likable, that's not the right way to go. Like, that was the only time. Like, I actually liked Leah. That was the only time I was just like, now wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute with that. But, like, yeah, she was like, you know, do you belong looking for your brother? Do you belong with your family, or do you belong with me? Why does he have to choose? Why does he have to pick one? If they had showed us, you know, time and time again, he's like, I'm going out again. And then, you know, we get the impression that he's out for weeks at a time. And then he comes back and she's like, you know, you were gone longer this time, you know, like if we understood that he's spending so much time out there and he's not like present with her, then it would be understandable, you know, but they just like cut to it. Like it was like this love scene and now they're fighting and you're just like, what? And like, why does he have to choose? And like, of course we're going to say he belongs with his family. We don't know you, lady. He belongs with his family. So that was very weird. And so I guess we're supposed to understand that he left. He went back to the river. And then Carol shows up. And that scene was so strange because it was almost like the two of them were exes and like having this sort of awkward conversation about like moving on with people, you know, after the relationship has ended. And I find that a lot of times Daryl and Carol kind of relate to each other like, you know, that like ex-lovers. And it feels a little bit, sometimes what they do with Daryl and Carol can feel a little bit, baity. Like they're trying to bait the Carol shippers. And it'll kind of rub me the wrong way a little bit sometimes. You know, just like with, there was a scene, when Negan refers to Carol as his girlfriend. He's like, he says something about your girlfriend. And I just feel like they know how the Carol shippers are going to react to that. And they're just kind of teasing them or baiting them. I don't know. But then sometimes I think, well, maybe it is going to go that direction and they're going to end up together. But I just don't feel that. There was a time when I shipped Daryl and Carol many, many moons ago. They feel like brother and sister to me now, and I think it would be strange for them to be romantically involved. It would just be weird. But yeah, this was just a very awkward scene, the way that they were talking to each other. But I get the impression that whatever she said to him changed his mind, and so then he decided to go back, and he finds the cabin in disarray. So it looks like maybe she got overrun, but there's no bodies, there's no walkers. So he doesn't know what happened. So maybe she got taken, something. She left dog. Was that intentional, or did, maybe dog escape or something? Don't really know. But then he leaves this note, I belong with you, find me. And I'm just like, what? No. Just like, no. Again, why does he have to choose? And I can't imagine that anybody watching that would be happy. We'd be like cheering that on. Like, no, Daryl belongs with his family. Hello. And so then we have that final fight with Daryl and Carol, and I actually appreciated that fight because I said earlier in the episode, like, they've been having the same conversation, and I liked that Daryl literally called that out. Like, yes, they have been having the same conversation for a very long time, and so it felt like the show was self-aware. Like, yes, this is what's happening, and I really hope I think that they needed to have this fight, right? They needed to have this conversation. Daryl has been going along with Carol and not really speaking his mind, and I think that he's just been bottling everything up, and I think he needed to get some of this off of his chest, especially about Connie, and Carol needed to hear it. But again, I'm going to say for the millionth time, I hope that we're moving past all of this. And, you know, I don't really expect many changes during these bonus episodes. I think that I'm really just looking forward to season 11 and like a new version of Carol and like a new version of their friendship for season 11. That's what I'm hoping. You know, some of the things that Daryl said was pretty harsh, like, you know, he shouldn't have made her get off the boat and everything, but again, I think it's stuff that he's wanted to say for a long time. And I think I even said that at some point during one of my reactions, like, she shouldn't have got off the boat. So anyway, I feel like I've been talking a hell of a long time. So, you know, just overall, I just think that it just didn't work for me. The artistic choices didn't work for me. I don't understand why they went that route. I didn't understand why we didn't see more affection. If you want me to ship this, if you want me to get invested in this relationship, if you want me to care about these two as a couple, then I needed to, because I literally have no idea how Daryl really felt about her, except for that note, "I belong with you." I mean, was he in love with her? I guess that's what we're supposed to understand, but I didn't feel that. I think that it was a mistake to tell the story the way that they did. And I think maybe they were just trying to make it a little bit more interesting, but I think just telling the story straight would have been better. And like I said, I needed to feel some chemistry between them. I needed to feel, I mean, if they're supposed to love each other, I need to feel like they love each other, and I just don't. But at the same time, like I said, I can't care about this person. I can't be invested because I just met her. So that's why these sorts of relationships aren't interesting to me. I need that slow burn. But obviously, like I said, she will be back for season 11. And it did cross my mind that she could have been pregnant. And that's why she gave him that ultimatum. But we don't have, I mean, there's no evidence of that. But that could have been it. And she could have bailed. I don't know why she would leave Dog, though. She could have bailed because she, you know, didn't want to raise her kid like that. But, like, that's not going to make me like her anymore. If she knew she was pregnant and then took off with Daryl's kid, like, that's not going to make me like her, right? So I feel like her disappearing is not related to their fight or the pregnancy or anything. I think that it would make sense that she would maybe give him this ultimatum if she were pregnant. But also, you gotta tell the guy, because if she said, like, if she told him that she was pregnant, then he might have made a different choice. I mean, I'm sure he would have right then and there. So But I wonder, but again, knowing about the spinoff is a problem. Like, I'm not worried about Daryl and Carol's relationship. I know they're going to be fine because of the spinoff. How does Leah fit into the picture with the spinoff? And if she were pregnant, I mean, Daryl's not going to leave his kid. So yeah, like Daryl's not going to leave his kid. So if she was to come back and be like, hey, surprise, she would have to take off with the kid again or something like that. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I probably need to stop thinking about the damn spinoff and just like enjoy the episodes and just take each episode as they're presented to me and not constantly think about the spinoff. It is really a detriment to everything. To my enjoyment, to my peace of mind. I think I just really need to try to chill on that. But yeah, so we know we're gonna see Leah again, and I am half expecting that we might see a little mini Daryl, which I don't know how I feel about that, because I kind of like the idea. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. I have talked long enough, and I don't know if any of this has made any sense, much like the episode. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.